Apologies. Cheers. Have a drink of water. All right, today, sausage gravy. And I said fried potatoes. It's really hash browns. So we're going to turn this on. And I'm going to start getting ready. So, all right, I'm going to tell you right now, we've had a little change of what's going on because I was in a lot of pain earlier this week from eating too much grain. And it doesn't happen often, but it did this week. And so I need to lay off the grains a bit. So instead of making an actual like gluten-free biscuit today, we are going to make what they call some keto bread. I can use it like an English muffin almost. So I can still make the dish. The amount of flour that I'm going to use with the gravy. Sorry, my brain is just not working. From the gravy is going to be minimal because I'm just going to eat one small portion. And then I will have some, I'm currently getting ready to make some potatoes. But hey, are you there, IT guy? Are you downstairs? If you are, I forgot, and I put the olive oil away. I cooked earlier. If you can hand me the olive oil, please. So, hey, Christy, happy Friday. Oh, speaking of happy Friday, just a little something for everybody. We're going to be switching things up next month. My husband and his company, they have what they call summer hours. And so he has a half day off on Fridays. And because of that, we tend to get a lot of things done on Fridays. So for the month of July, starting the week of July 4th, because I think the 3rd is actually the holiday. So I'm assuming people will have things to do, to be honest. And I am going to move to Monday through Thursday, and then we'll take Fridays off instead of taking Thursdays off. We used to have a meeting on Thursdays, and that particular thing is ending. So, fortunately, I can be adaptable now for that. So we will just be switching it up to Monday through Thursday. But I also didn't want to have just the sausage gravy to make, so because I know my family is going to want a little more than that for dinner / even if it's breakfast for dinner, we need a little more than one thing. And I'm hoping, these are all big chunks. They must have gotten thawed a little more at some point. Pardon the loud. Breaking apart. Not completely, but enough to keep things going here. Okay. So, that is the situation. I'm also going to see a couple people that I haven't seen in a while next week, so that's kind of exciting. Is he right there? IT guy. He's going to be so sick of me today. Will you put a clip on that and put it away, please? Thank you. And so I don't do something really silly. I am going to put this on since this is kind of moving around. So we're going to start with these hash browns. I'm going to get these all up and going, and then we're going to pop those in the oven, and then I'll get that sausage and sausage gravy going. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but my family likes some variety. So, oh, goodness me. I know, I'm off the burner. This thing is sliding all over the place. Okay. I didn't realize they were all stuck together till I opened the thing just a few seconds ago. So, I expect some, but not this big of a chunk. So, Christy, I don't know how close you are to New York, but man, with the Knicks and stuff, all kinds of stuff going on there. You know, it's funny. You learn things about different states when you go to school with people from there. And I went to school with a fair amount of people from the East Coast when I was in college. And I don't know if this is insulting or not, so you can let me know, Christy. But there used to be this thing of when you said you were from New Jersey, somebody would say, "What exit?" And I guess y'all know where you're from by what exit you take to get to where your house is. Is that still a thing? This was, again, back in the 80s, because you know I'm not a young chick, so. And I don't know if that is offensive or not. So if it is offensive, please let me know. But, and I know I've been harping on it, but I'm going to harp on it a little bit longer about this World Cup thing. So, hey, Joan, happy Friday to you too. It's a good day. I'm glad it's Friday. So we are starting off with some fried potatoes to go with our sausage gravy. I'm not going to be making the gluten-free biscuits. The Mr. 513 stopped and got them some gluten filled. I'm going to use what they call a keto bread, but it's almost like a English muffin, to be honest. Man, this is just soaking up the oil. So I'm going to put a little more in there so we can get it browned and not just stuck on the bottom. Get them kind of cooked through. I like them to be crisp, but not burnt. So I think Christy might have had to step away because I asked a question and she didn't answer me, which is not like her. So, any fun plans this weekend, Joan? I'm always curious. So, actually, they're Ore-Ida hash browns. Sometimes you just do what works, right? Because I'm not one to, if I needed to, for financial purposes, I would 100% start with raw potatoes and do the whole thing, but not today. I'll be baking some potatoes on Monday, but those will be baked by the time I start, because I saw this really cool recipe for it's all right, Karen. It's a broccoli cheddar soup in like you scoop out the baked potato, you put the soup in, and then you put some stuff on top of it. It's really, oh my God, it looks so yummy. So before this gets too cooked, I'm going to take this is cheddar cheese. I had some cheddar for another recipe, and that tends to go bad quicker than other cheeses, so I'm putting that Just simple. Put that on top. And then I'm going to pop this in the oven so it can stay warm. But I don't really need it to cook anymore. So, oh, in it goes to the oven. Okay. Yeah, us either. I think we're just going to try to catch up this weekend. Although my brother is in town and we may see him. So we'll see about that. But, all right. Now, we've talked about this before, but just so I can explain what I'm about to do. When I was a kid, and I'm just going to call you Respect because that's what you got there. So thank you, Respect. When I was a kid and we used to make sausage, there always seemed to be a lot more fat in the sausage. And I said that to my husband one day. I'm like, there used to be like, oh, awesome. Thank you so much. There used to be so much more grease with our sausage. And he was like, sure, whatever. And I was like, no, I swear. I said, because I used to be able to make gravy and sometimes had like sausage gravy. And I used to have to, sometimes take some of the grease out because there was too much. And now it seems like there's not. Well, sure enough, I looked it up and they have literally started putting less fat into the sausage because people complained about it because it cooked up too much. So I'll wash my hands off real quick. Ugh. So anyway, yeah, so that's actually a thing that happens, is that, what am I going to use? I'm going to use this. Okay. So now you know. So we're going to chop this up and we're going to get it cooked up. And the thing is, when I do sausage gravy, I want a nonstick pan. Or I don't want a nonstick pan because you kind of want the fond. You just don't want too much of it because you don't want to burn it. So I love Bob Evans is what I'm from Ohio and that's where Bob Evans originated. So I use their all natural and I love it. It's hard to find around here. There's only a couple stores I can get it at, which may be why it has less fat in it too, because I use the all natural. So, and the nice thing about this recipe is that you don't have to necessarily, you want to cook it till that you don't want to put it like this, put it aside. But once you've got it mostly cooked, you can put it aside because you'll put it back in the gravy. So, you know what? I never did hear from Ruby. So I'm hoping she shows up because I really don't, other than through comments, I don't really have a way to contact her. So, and I'll be honest, I forgot to send her a comment. You know what? If she's a subscriber, I might be able to do that. So, and it's on silent, but World Cup is on it in the other room. And by the celebration, I'm guessing the U.S. just scored. So, woohoo! Told you we're World Cup fans. So, the thing is, I just wonder where she is in Indiana. So maybe we'll get lucky and she'll show up for us today and we'll know she's okay. But if not, hey Joan, you have my phone number. Could you text me the word Ruby to remind me? Because after I do this, I'm usually so tired and then my brain kind of goes offline for a while. But if you could text me the word Ruby, I would be so appreciative. She's, for those who don't know, Ruby's a regular. And she ducked out the other day because the weather was getting bad where she was. So, and we have not heard from her since. So we're a little concerned about her. So anyway, um, let's see here. I think I'm just going to put it into here for now. I think it'll fit in there. It'll be close, but okay. So we're going to pull that out of there. Hey, IT guy, I'm going to need you to get me some milk, please. This is a milk gravy, if you will. Sometimes they're stock gravies. This is a milk gravy. Or what some would call some would call it a bechamel, but it's a little thinner than a bechamel. I need the milk, please. I didn't want it sitting out for an hour. I have a thing about milk sitting out. So I have ever since my kids were little. I was like, I will put the milk on your cereal. If you want more cereal, I will get the milk out again. It was that kind of thing. So, alrighty. Yikes. All right, we're gonna get some butter. And I'm gonna turn this down a bit. The thing is, you use essentially about equal portions of butter and flour. Yeah, I hear you. Thank you for not melting. I'm just getting everywhere, that's all. Okay. And then it's popping. All right, we're gonna toss some flour on that. That'll stop the popping. And then I use a whisk. So I'll start mixing it up. I want to get that, like I said, we want that fond, is what they call it, on the bottom there. I'll start to mix it up. And the thing about, thank you so much. The thing about, I'm going to need a little more butter. The thing about gluten-free flour, if you're a gravy person, if you make gravy, you got to cook this longer than you do a normal roux, because gluten-free flour maintains its, like they say, you cook it until you cook out that raw flour smell, and it takes a lot longer to do that with gluten-free flour, to be honest. So, oh hush. And it's a little different as far as the texture goes. It tends to not get quite as creamy. So I always tell people not to worry about that as well. There were so many times I thought I messed up gravy. I talk about that on my video about city chicken. And if you don't know what city chicken is, it's kind of a Pennsylvania, Ohio kind of thing that we did. And it was supposed to mimic chicken. It doesn't taste anything like chicken. I will tell you that. And you kind of have to go by the smell on this. And that's the other thing. When you cook a roux with flour, unless you cooked it at too high of a temperature, it's going to take a while to get brown. This gets brown. I mean, it's already browning. So it's nothing to be worried about if it gets kind of a caramel color. That's actually good. Yeah, because we've cooked out the taste now. That browned, that raw flour taste. So, and now comes the fun part. And again, this is where I also tell people, do not freak out because it's going to do weird stuff. And the first weird thing it usually doesn't do it so much with the milk, but if you're doing it with stock, it gets really clumpy. And this does too. I mean, you see how fast that absorbed all that juice. Oh gosh, city chicken is amazing. I love that stuff. Now the difference is, I didn't realize this. When I decide to make something, I go and research and see what kind of other recipes are out there compared to mine and stuff like that. And every recipe I saw online did not have gravy. And I was like, that's the only way I've ever eaten it is with gravy. So that was so weird to me to see city chicken with no gravy, just cooked. Which I get it, because if you're trying to make it mock chicken, you wouldn't put a gravy over it. But I have never had it any other way but with gravies. But essentially, what city chicken is it used to be beef, pork, and veal. And they put it on a little meat skewer about that big. So it kind of looked like chicken legs. But it got to the point where, and again, gluten-free flour takes a lot of liquid, and so to hydrate it. But I'm gonna need to get that out of there at some point. But back to city chicken. Now it's pretty much, you can get it if you order it in a butcher shop. You can usually get beef and pork, and occasionally you can get veal. I don't eat veal, so it just depends on where you are and what kind of butcher shop you have access to and all that kind of stuff. So, all right. I think I'm going to go a little bit because they all thicken up. So you always want to go, when you make a gravy, you always want to make the gravy a little thinner than you think you want it, because as it cooks, it's going to thicken up. And gluten-free can do that. I mean, you don't want it like super watery. This has still got a nice like thickness to it, if you will. But I'm going to grab a spoon and get that little piece out of there. It's fine. It's just a piece of cooked pork, but texture-wise, it may not be very delicious in there. So out it comes. Alrighty, and this has got a nice little bubbling to it, and we're going to let that sit and thicken up for a few minutes. Again, getting some more of that fond up off the bottom. I love it. Okay, now you gotta season your gravy or it's gonna taste terrible. Yeah, well, I don't eat lamb and I don't eat veal. I don't know. I just have a thing about eating baby animals. It's a me thing. I know that. I don't judge anyone else who does it. It's just a me thing. Okay, y'all know I don't salt much. Gravy, you make sure it gets salted. And I may have to salt it more. It's the one thing I make sure I have enough salt in, if you will. So, okay. Turn that down a little more. It's starting to bubble a little more than I would like. And burnt gravy is disgusting. So, yes, very much so. Very, very much so, Christy. It is. I have used this for pot pie, as a matter of fact. So I do like a skillet pot pie because one dish is that's my jam. Okay, it's seasoned enough. Turn it down a little more. And it's getting a nice thickness. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. I'm done with that little booger. And then I'm going to grab my sausage. Put that back in here. And then just work that sausage back into the gravy. Because, yum. Now, while that is doing its thing and just kind of marrying all those flavors back together, I am going to gravy is easy though. I mean, I know some people think it's not. It's just gravy is all about patience, in my opinion. And yes, these are dried and they'll be fine in a few minutes. They'll hydrate in seconds. So I'm just going to put a few little chives on there. It's green, so I can pretend it's healthy, right? And if you got the sausage out, Joan, you're already halfway there to gravy. So a little bit of flour, a little bit of milk, you're good to go. Salt and pepper. All right, so I gotta microwave this real quick. So I melt it. It'll take just like 10 seconds. So okay, and then put the lid on this because we don't want to. Hey, IT guy, can you come help me, please? I think that'll be okay for you to grab, to get out of there. Is it all melted? Well, close enough. We'll make sure it gets melted. And that can go back in the fridge, please. And I'm going to go back in the microwave here in just a second. So, all right, I've made this before. Gravy's an easy one. I say that to people and they're like, gravy's hard. And I'm like, no, you just got to be patient. And then I need 3 tablespoons of almond flour, which we'll do right here. Ooh. This is that 90-second. It's called keto bread, actually. It's 90-second keto bread. My family hated it. I didn't think it was bad. And if I'm going to slather it with gravy, not that big a deal, right? I mean, it's such an easy meal. It kind of reminds me of when I was a kid, my mom used to make, she called it SOS. You know what I'm talking about, right? And then I need, it says a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to do, because it didn't rise very much, I'm going to do a heaping 1/4 teaspoon of that. And my husband figured that one out. If you've got the one that's got the little metal top on it, if you just fold it back, gives you something, if you want it level, that you can level it on. Just a thought. And then 1 little egg. I thought about whipping up the white on this one, but I didn't today. Just being a little whatever. So, yeah, me too, Joan. I like gravies and sauces as long as they're not too fiddly, if you will. I don't like them to be where you have to be very precise. So I guess that's why my husband's the better baker. He's more precise about a lot of things. Um, I do have one thing that I want to make, and I got to see how long it takes to make. I might have to do a recipe on it. I have it's a tort, and it's made with hazelnuts and apricots, and it's so, so good. And I really want to make it, but it's, if I remember it, it is one of those fiddly things, so I have to be really in the mood to make it. And it's I don't know if you call them dakwa or if they're just meringues that you make, but it is delicious. It's just my family's not huge on apricots, and it's a fairly large dessert. So, all right, IT guy, 90 seconds in the microwave. Let's see what we get. Thank you, sir. We'll put this stuff away. I'm going to move this out this way, because I think if I do that, you guys can see where I put the plate. So, piece of garbage. This is good enough. Put this away. Oh my gosh, I think we're going to be done really early today. So, but yeah, next week, I'm excited about next week. Next week is the broccoli cheddar soup and a potato. Instead of a bread bowl, it's a potato bowl. And then we're doing a flank steak on Tuesday with some roasted asparagus and something else, I think. And then Wednesday, we're going to do a couple different kinds of savory oats. We're going to try those. And then Friday, Friday is ahi tuna. So I'm excited about that one too. So I'm going to make, if anybody goes to Outback, y'all are welcome. Just give me about an hour's notice so I can clean up for y'all and make sure it's presentable. I told my husband at one point in our lives, I said, if we had a party every month, the house would stay clean. All right, IT guy is, I'll get that because I'm going to grab that out, and then I'm going to grab the potatoes back out as well. So yeah, we're going to be done on time-ish, if you will. So, okay. Here we go. Grabbing the keto bread first. And looks pretty much like it did the last time. Give it a second to cool down in there, and then I'm going to flip it out. While I wait for that, I am going to grab out these potatoes. So this is a super simple meal. I mean, it really is. And again, because of the gluten-free flour, your gravy, instead of being white, is going to be more like a brown. I almost touched that thing. I would have been so unhappy with myself. Let's see. Ta-da! Popped right out. Yay! Okay. Now, I can, and this is actually suggested, if you make it in the microwave, that you cut it in half, which I'm going to do, and then toast it. Yeah, I'm putting that elf glove back on because it's hot. So I like the idea of a potato bowl too. So and then you take the insides, and you could spoon it. I'm going to pipe it, but you could spoon it or pipe it over the potato, and then you broil it for a couple of minutes so it gets, you make the guts, if you will, into a topping for the soup. So I think that's very cool. So we're going to give that a try. Hopefully we'll figure it'll work out. So I'm going to give that a quick toast. Close enough. Ooh, no, we'll see how that goes. I don't want to over toast it. But while that's doing its thing, I will get out the handy dandy flipper here. Hopefully we're not stuck on the bottom too much. Again, it's so weird for me. I'm trying to cook more so we don't have quite so many leftovers, because especially with cooking all these meals, like I used to cook and then cook for a few nights, and then we'd have leftovers for a few nights, but it's not happening as much as it used to. I didn't burn myself. I just almost touched it. That's all. Okay, so there's a nice little crust on the bottom there, but it did come right out of the pan, which is lovely. So we've got that. I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of this so it's easy for the family when they come to make their dinners. Mr. 513 is out working on the yard, cutting the grass. It's funny, we have a neighbor who used to cut our grass. He used to cut our front yard because he liked all of the yards being the same height. And we offered, when he's 80 years old now, and he's like, I can't do it anymore. We're like, no problem. He was like apologizing. I'm sorry. We're like, don't be sorry. We're delighted. We used to get him gift cards and stuff for Christmas, but he would never accept any money. So that's why we got him the gift cards. So, and so now my husband, we have a single neighbor next door, so he cuts her lawn. So he's like, I'm just going to pay it forward. Since I can't pay it back, I'm going to pay it forward. You know, it's funny that house cleaning thing. Somebody I just talked to recently said the same thing. They're like, now that I live alone, I could care less. You know, and she's like, I used to be such a fastidious housekeeper. And she's like, I just don't really care anymore. I'm like, I get that, which is why I want less stuff. Because that way, if I clean out all my junk, there's less to clean. So that's the space I'm in right now. So I'm gonna pull one of these out and see what it's like. Get my little toaster tongs so I don't burn myself. Nope. I'm gonna let that toast up a little more. Okay, it's got just like 2 more minutes. So anyway, that's now you got the scoop, the neighborhood scoop even. Oh my goodness. So hang on. Come on, Ruby. I guess she's not coming today. We'll definitely have to check on her, see if we can find anything out. So, but yeah, the US is up 2-0. And it looks like we're going to start the second half. So there you go. Just in case you needed to know. That's what's going on in the world of World Cup right now. Yes. Sandra, that's what I'm going to do. If she's a subscriber, I can reach out. But if she's not a subscriber, it's really not ethical for me to do that. And I can get in trouble. So if she's if she gets upset because I reached out, that I can get in trouble with that. Oops, sorry. I don't think she would, but so I'm hoping she's a subscriber and that I can find that out. That's not something I've had to do at this point. And there's a certain level of subscriber where you got a lot more flexibility in what you can do, and I'm not quite there yet. I'm close, but I'm not quite there yet. So more than anything, I don't want to do anything unethical that's going to bother somebody. That's the big thing. So yeah, I know. Me too, Christine. I'm sorry you're going to have to wait until Monday till I have some kind of an answer for you. But actually, if I remember, if I hear from her, and I know, and if I can contact subscribers, then I will let you know, Christy, for sure. So yes, Joan, we should like get online and do that at like 15 minutes a day or something, and share that. I used to do that. I have a page that I used to run, and I still have the page, but we would I would do live decluttering sessions with people for my, for the people on my page, and I've been thinking about firing that back up because I think a lot of people are like that. They want to do it, but they just don't make the time to do it. So, okay, so that toasted up nicely, and then we've got our little cheesy potatoes there, and now we'll get some sausage gravy. I'm going to just put it on this one right now because I might just put butter on that and be done with it. And use this one just so this stays warm for my family because they're going to make their own biscuits. And I can't say as I blame them because it's not like I'm sitting here going, but my biscuits are so good. Like they'll do. Okay. So we've got our keto bread. We've got our sausage gravy. It's hot. One thing I can say is the sausage gravy helps you not worry so much about whether the bread is dry. And not such a problem with gluten-free breads and things. And the nice thing about making this size serving is if I don't like it, it's just one that I'm throwing out. It broke my heart a little bit. I had to throw out all those biscuits that I made with the gluten-free Bisquick. Number one, because they made my body hurt really, really bad. And number two, because they were just really grainy. Not a nice texture. So if you're making those for somebody else, maybe if you let it sit for a while and hydrate, it might be better. But I've made a few things now with it, and I'm just not impressed. Let's put it that way. It's weird because I love cheese, so I would love this with a little bit of cheese in it. If I did that, I wouldn't salt the sausage gravy because it's pretty salty. And then we've got our Ore-Ida potatoes. We just seasoned them up a little bit, cooked them in some butter and olive oil, and threw them in the oven so they stayed warm and melted that beautiful cheddar cheese on it. It's not the lightest dinner you'll ever eat, but it's good. It's quick. And heck, we were done in 45 minutes with that, from start to finish. So I don't have anything else to make. Um, but next week we're going to lighten up a bit. Like I said, we're going to do the potato bowl soup. We're going to do the flank steak. We're going to do some savory oats, and I'll see. That'll be like my one meal with grain in it that week. And then we're going to do the ahi on Friday. I've got some blood work that's going to be done in August. So I've got about 6 weeks to kind of see how I can positively affect those numbers. So we're going to be making some healthy but really delicious food, because if it's not delicious, I don't want to eat it. I don't want food to be a chore. So we're going to do our best to make it tasty and delicious. So um, anyway, see, I would have used Jiffy Mix back in the day, no problem. And even regular Bisquick, they're okay. But my family, if they're going to pick, sorry, I did it again. If I'm going to pick, um, if they're going to pick, it's going to be Grand's biscuits. They like the stuff out of a tube. It is what it is, right? I love a good Southern biscuit. They'd rather have the kind out of a can. Sometimes you just don't fight. You don't fight it. So anyway, I want to wish y'all a happy Friday. I will see you back here on Monday. Again, next week, regular schedule, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Thursday is my anniversary, so I'm not cooking that day. And then the next week, we're going to start our Monday through Thursday, and we'll take Fridays off. So hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Hope the weather is fantastic wherever you are. And I will see you guys on Monday. Love you all. Eat well. Be well. I love you. See you. Bye.